I'll have to check later. I can't check tonight.
That's fine. Just let me know. I'll make a change to the list. I really think, I know Dave is missing one, so he's going to have to tell me whose is what. And I just wanted you all to have it so that if you needed anything.
Thank you for getting this all out.
Yes.
And Mary.
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. Sorry, Tom.
Okay. So we'll call the meeting to order again. And
I make a motion for the approval of the minutes of the May 4th, 2022 meeting.
Second?
any discussion? Dennis is not here yet.
Sounds like Dennis.
Yep.
Not Dennis.
Lenny?
No, plenty.
Any discussion on the minutes?
Nope.
None? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay. George, you're up. We have been waiting.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Let me pass this around.
I have that thing.
Oh, you do?
I also have with me the volume of documents that support this report that will be left with the town,
Great.
notes, etc., to show the due diligence involved. I am also, I consider this a draft and a starting point, and if anyone would like, I'm going to pass this around, and if anyone wishes to communicate with me about any individual information, I'm delighted to share all or none or however much anyone wants. So let me just have everyone just take a look at that just for the flavor of what it is. And I can email parts of it or all of it, and however you want to do it. So there have been a total of 42 applications received. 9 were from outside of the town, the state. In some cases, it seemed like they weren't even from the planet. The recommended awards break down to, when you're looking at this document, what you see in red is what the individual claimed their losses were.
Can I just ask one question? I'm sorry.
Please.
So the 9, so the 9 included a due diligence that they don't serve the town as well. Is that correct?
Yes, they were.
Okay,
They
great.
were not even.
Thank you.
It wasn't a jump ball type of thing where they
Understood.
were located somewhere else and gave services here. They were from Waterbury.
Okay.
They were from everywhere. So,
Okay.
Thank you.
so the red is what the individual claims his damages were, but then I would go through the worksheet, fill in all the necessary information, and then review that and decide whether they qualify. In some cases, they did not answer information correctly in one area, but they more than compensated for it in another area. So rather than run up the taxpayer's dollar by chasing down information that made no difference, I just let it be. In my opinion, so everyone needs to remember that this is all based on the person's word. If anything jumped out at me that suggested something improper, I would follow through and go through everything. None of that came about.
Okay, really?
There are perhaps instances where I'm not sure that the person really understood the damages were within that particular time frame.
That's my question.
But then once again, they made up for it in some other fashion.
Okay.
And when you look at the totality of the damage, and then look at the award, I feel confident that as it stands, without any further review, all of these folks easily met the targets. So, and I'm more than happy to have, you know, the committee should assign perhaps someone to review my work just to make sure we're all in line, but I really think that I could defend any one of these. That's the internal heights that this committee wishes to go to. The actual federal government's requirements are very broad. You could award someone this money for no other reason than it assists them in their financial outlook. I'm serious. The language you could drive 10 trucks through.
I also think the committee is protected under the adoption of the standard allowance.
Right. I was thinking more in terms of being
Understood.
able to
But I'd rather have a
justify-
belt and suspender justification for what we come to if possible.
So you can award money to diminish financial insecurity, to assist the applicant weather financial hardship, to address the harmful consequences of economic disruptions resulting from or exacerbated by, and you just need to know that the award you give them is reasonably proportional to the damage that they have. And in this case, that is almost inconsequential. The damage has been such. So by my estimate, going by their claim, the damage businesses suffered $4,359,000 worth of damage, and nonprofits suffered $412,200 worth of damage. When you look at those two numbers, you're at like $4.75 million worth of damage. And with that, the town would be awarding back $318,648. That is if that is what the town decides to spend. Of course, if you decided to spend less, you could proportionally reduce everyone because so many are at the highest point. I think only 3 folks didn't qualify for the full amount. You would be reducing people proportionally. So it's a question now for the committee. You've got some decisions to make about what you want to spend.
You're right, 3
how
people.
you want to spend it, and
3 applicants were below the 10,000.
yeah, yes, sir.
Having done all this, how do you feel about the equity of the 10,000 cap vis-a-vis what's been asked for, which in some cases is more than $1 million? I mean, it's wide range. Is there any proportionality need here in retrospect to say, you know, the cap's too low for some of these folks who really got hurt and we're hardly making it down?
Well, you know, I didn't bring it with me today, but I ran these numbers through a loss index where you say, you know, for 250,000 to $1 million, everybody gets 10,000. The next group down gets 8. The next group down gets 6. I've already done all that work, but I didn't bring it with me because I didn't want to confuse anyone, but I could easily supply that by this afternoon to the committee to show you how you would proportionally reduce so that the people with the most damage got the most money.
That would be proportionately reduced.
By an index rather than by a percentage.
You would, right.
An increase.
Right, exactly, the inverse question.
Well, I had not considered that.
Right, because we put out there that it was a 10,000.
Right.
We gave you a ceiling.
That's something that I would leave for the committee to discuss and arrive at, and I, of course, will take whatever direction the committee gives me and work the numbers accordingly.
But do you have anything in your gut, having read all these, that this says, you know, what we did was good, I agree with this, or what we did wasn't sufficient in some cases, and I'm really feeling bad for X, Y, and Z, and I think they should get more?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't think that, but I was surprised by the number, the lack of applicants. In my mind, I expected much more. I had geared everything up to accept much more, and then it didn't happen. I thought about whether the advertising was sufficient, but I think it clearly was. I think that this actually might be a good sign that the town has recovered quickly and people are no longer concerned. One of the things I noticed was in a category that played very strongly in the previous places I worked was the amount of money that was spent to create the social distancing that many operations needed. That had already been expended in the previous time. So many folks expressed frustration about that.
Yeah.
And there's a playoff between the first part of this where all that PPP money was available and flushed through businesses to keep people employed. And then the second group now, which tightens up that window a lot. So a lot of people didn't enjoy the benefits of that first round of funding and are now frustrated that they didn't.
Yeah.
However, they have other clear damages that are still caused by or exacerbated by that make up for that in my mind. So this is a very high percentage of full awards to people. I think that is justified, and you start to make value judgments, which you try not to make.
Do.
So a big corporation that loses $1,050,000, there's a lot of leeway in there. I mean, they're still in operation. They had a slow couple of years. They got PPP money. Everybody stayed working. The owners didn't make a profit, as much of a profit, but that's capitalism. That isn't just pandemic.
The other thing I would offer to the committee, although I've not heard it mentioned here that we, revisit amounts or anything like that. The other thing I would offer is I don't think we should revisit cap amounts because people operated in good faith and provided us information.
They know what target they were shooting.
They knew what target they were shooting for. And I know specifically from three anecdotes at least, the conversation went something along the lines of this. Hell, one job lost me the $10,000. And just that one email that I sent in demonstrated that $10,000. So it's a great question, Dennis. I think, am also a little surprised by the lack of numbers that we received. But looking at how we did compared to East Lyme, which I think is a good proxy, I think we did well.
What did East Lyme do?
So they had a total, I think, of like 33 applications. And we combined have a total of, 60?
60 plus?
I think our challenge is it was a 30-day window to apply.
East Lyme is 3 times the size of Old Lyme.
And East Lyme is 3 times our size.
Yeah.
I'd just like to add to that.
I bet you they're much more than 3 times the size.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Without a doubt.
Oh, very much so.
Commercial district.
Yeah.
We did get one business came in saying they never saw it, they never heard about it, why didn't they hear about it? And it was past the deadline. So I passed that on to Tom to reach out to that person. That's the only one I've heard of officially.
Has anyone else heard of any other people who've learned after the fact?
Are they located on Boston Post Road?
No, Washington Street.
I heard one other.
Okay.
And I did not hear about it directly. I heard about it indirectly. And the person I heard it from owns a business, did apply, and did say they tried. You could tell that they were trying to defend the process. That hey, a mailing went out. We saw about this online. They didn't come to me directly, but I've only heard one other.
Does Postal Patron go to businesses as well as individuals?
Went to every
Gotcha.
and P.O. box.
We got it at our business.
Okay.
I think, I don't want to take George's time up with this, but it's a conversation that I bring up all the time, which is people don't read, people don't see, and these are busy entrepreneurs
Sure. Yeah.
and
Well, yeah,
leaders of nonprofits, they're just going. And unless you're, for many of them, in front of them saying, you need to do this,
Right.
it's not going to happen as hard as you try. And I would say for that business owner, what could we have done
Yeah.
to
Yeah, I think,
to get this to, like, it's not on us
Right.
to,
I think to your point, you know, again, I agree with Rick, to not visit the cap. But to your point, maybe we do, whenever we make our decision or as part of the decision-making process, do a postmortem. And,
Oh, yeah.
and kind of see what could we have done differently in this environment. I know that my behavior during the period that this thing was active was any business that I walked into,
Me too.
it was just something I was, you know,
It's
you're
coming.
looking for something to say.
It's coming. It's here.
Yeah, it's on.
It's
yep.
leaving.
It's on the tip of your tongue when you go in, you buy gas, you buy groceries, you buy do that. And I think that was, whatever word of mouth is worth, it's worth. But I think it's true. There are folks who go up 1,000 miles an hour with their hair on fire. And
It's easy to miss.
Yep,
And the greeter, I think the person came in to speak with the greeter. The greeter said, well, it was on Limelight. Did you look up? No. It was on Facebook. Did you look at Facebook? No. Well, we sent you a
It's on the
postcard.
web-
it
it's on
was
the
in
webpage.
the day, it was in.
I know.
It was-
yeah.
But also, I know that another business owner came in, took two applications, and I was standing right there when they said, I'm taking this for the business that in fact came in later.
Gotcha.
I never heard about this.
Uh-huh.
Oh, is that right? Well, I am very sorry as a committee member that
Yeah.
anybody missed the opportunity to apply.
Yeah.
However, I feel we operated in good conscience and good faith to get the word out.
We knew it would be an issue, and we dealt with it.
Lead a horse to water. And these are not children.
Right.
The survey, it demonstrated that when you did the math,
You're exactly
businesses
right.
had to have
Had to
been
know where.
before
That's a great
you
point.
even sent it out. So
There's that.
We had
I
over
think
1,000 responses to the
I
survey.
feel that you did exactly, I don't know how much more you could have done, except personally knock on people's doors. And then that's,
Which
there was
we
a-
did.
Some of that.
even that done. So anyway, the point is, I think you hit the bases. I would prefer to look at this like a good sign that the town is perhaps healthier in terms of its economics than everyone thought. I mean, it isn't surprising. It's a beautiful community and a beautiful location in Connecticut. It's, your town is blessed with many natural resources and things that other small towns don't have, and it's reflected in the health in the community. So that's how I would prefer to look at it. And I think it might be best for me to take my leave and let you folks talk about this and decide, and I'll wait for...
What happens with the Bible?
Well, this is ultimately going to be left with the town.
But not now.
Well, I could if...
I do have one, the 9 applications that are in there though, the ones that were not accepted, they're the back
The last
section.
section is
Well,
just
I would like to
those.
add to that there was one that I did not forward to you, George, because it was from Nigeria. I didn't think...
Prince?
That
Is
guy?
it a prince?
I sent him a lot of money about 10 years ago.
Interestingly enough...
If you want me to send that to you, I will.
East Windsor is now in the process of sending out all of their checks. That reminds me, I want to bring up one last point. But they actually, someone fraudulently put in an application for a business, and when they finally reached out, East Windsor, when they finally reached out, the business owner had no idea or anything about it, and they're in the process now of tracking down the codes to see who tried to fraudulently.
Well, there are some businesses I don't recognize on this list, but...
There's a couple names.
So the last part about this is the formal report that comes, which correlates sectors of the economy with grants, etc. And the contract that the town has with each applicant to transmit also calls for the applicant to state what they intend to use the money for. There's no legal requirement in anywhere for that, but it's a nice feature to put in the report to project out what this money went to. There's no requirement that the money be tied to the damage. There's actually no requirement, because of the very nature of business, they fill this out today and a tree falls on the roof tomorrow, what they were going to use the money for today now needs to be used for something different. The law provides for that flexibility, but the intention would be nice to include in the report. And I just put that out there. It's in the sample contract that I supplied to the town. And once you decide this part of it, we can move forward with the mechanics of making everything happen, and I'll certainly help the town do all that.
Well, we're not done with you, but thank you so far for all your work. This has been, I think, this has exceeded my expectations, and working with you has really put a nice set of parameters around this, something that we can go back and defend. So thanks.
I want to thank Jennifer, who put up with my daily, that's it, where are they?
No, I already.
Thank you to both.
George emailed me one day, do you need a banner? Maybe we should get a banner.
No banners.
Well, I realized how much you wanted the banner.
I wanted a plane.
When there was no things, I said, maybe we should get a banner.
White Sands.
That's what I wanted.
Well, thank you very much. Don't hesitate.
We appreciate it so much.
Don't hesitate to reach out to me about follow up on any one of these questions about any individual. Like I said, I'll send you everything or just the part you want, whatever you need. And in a future date, I will certainly be leaving this with you.
Yes.
And that's part of the record. But I could also transmit information from it to you.
It would be useful, I
electronic.
think, if we could get the 9 rejected. Tom, I would be willing to be involved on a review of them, do a spot check on them, and also just do a review of the 9 that were rejected.
I could send them.
I could just leave those.
I mean, they're literally like, I'm from Philadelphia. And you're like, okay.
They found it on Google.
Yeah. I'm from Denver. I'm from Seattle, Washington.
Here's an example of just one.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Saugatuck,
Long Island.
in Westport.
These are for-profit entities for the most part?
Yeah.
Bella's Hair Salon from someplace, they don't even put the town. I couldn't even,
They're smart.
Googled them every which way, and I couldn't find
You know how
them.
I spot checked.
Tom from Mark.
I think we let sleeping dogs.
Yeah.
I agree.
I spot checked the hair
It's a good
salon.
process.
They gave the street name, and
Right.
there's no street name in Old Lyme. So that was the.
I couldn't find that street name, Googling it anywhere. So,
Thank you.
but really, if anyone wants me to come back just individually one day and go through things with folks, I'm happy. I'm at the committee's disposal, is what I'm saying.
I know that,
I want to say that, you know,
That's what we
as
see later.
Parrot, what Rick said, I mean, this exceeded our expectation. My head now is saying, how do we get this money wheels up and out to the folks that.
Absolutely.
That's what, I mean, I've kind of, and the only other thing I'll add, and I have to scoot at 12:30, is I like the idea of the tag on the end of it when the check gets issued. Have the attestee say, I'm going to use this to put an awning on my building, just so that we have it.
So you know what the
You got a
intent was.
beginning and a middle and an end.
George, I may request that you come June 20th, which is our Board of Selectmen meeting, to just do your share of your part of it.
Okay.
I think
so some steps to think about.
Yep.
We need to verify that all these folks are good with the town in terms of legitimate and not owing any taxes and things of that
That's not a
nature.
provision we put on it.
It's something you want to know.
Yep.
Because you may have to answer for it before the voters at some point.
One question I have is, what about a business that is so new to town that they weren't even here for some of this time period?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't say anything in our application that they had to be here a number of
who is
years. Lilywork Tile, Lilywork Ceramic Ornament.
That one just jumped out at me too.
They purchased the property about a year ago and moved in over the summer. It's across the street from Ellie's.
Yeah, yeah.
No, and so,
Well, I mean,
could they have applied and,
I'll say this.
we
Let me
didn't say they
this
had to be
about
here
that.
in a certain period of
Because
time.
I know of a restaurant here in town that's been open,
Yeah.
and when they opened, the week before they opened, we got shut down. And they were closed for 6 months. So they really didn't operate the business for that window of time.
But that doesn't matter. I'm saying this business moved here 9 months ago, and they're
Okay.
applying now because they suffered loss of March 3rd, 2021. They were not in Old Line March 3rd, 2021.
But
They were in.
here now.
They're here now.
They were
Right.
They're here now, and I'm glad that they're here now.
Yeah.
So,
Paying taxes.
to answer the specifics,
Mhm.
they had closures and reductions from April 21 until September 21, when they had to make the necessary move and build due to COVID. So, when you looked at all of their figures, it did not jump out to me that they would have lost $10,000 in that time frame.
Right. No,
So,
I'm sure it's all
You know,
fine. I'm just pointing
and that's
out
what
that-
I would go by. So they
Yeah.
had closure costs, decreased revenue, they moved operations to accomplish better social distancing, purchased personal protective equipment, and endured supply chain disruptions.
Okay.
That's their story, and they're sticking with it. And it came to, when you totaled everything up, it exceeded $10,000, and that's when I stopped, rather than
They
further
met the
prying.
threshold.
How do you feel after hearing that?
No, I feel fine. I know that looking back, if we could do it all over again, we may have possibly put something in our application requiring that they have been established in Old Line for 2 years, or something like that. I've seen that in other towns. you
And
know?
another ARPA.
Right, right. And so, but we didn't put that in there. So they qualify.
Yeah.
And
I feel good about.
Yeah.
I feel fine about
feel
helping
good about helping a company or an individual in this town.
Yeah, you're homing.
If there's a question, a further question, because there's, if, for example, there's one that I noticed applied for both this application and the other
I
application.
can't hear Mary Jo.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I went to the dentist.
No, it's
I
the
can't-
zipper.
I can't-
Well, it's the zipper. Can you repeat that, Mary?
If there's an application that they applied for both applications, and in reading one, I might have some questions on this one.
Yeah.
How do you propose we address that?
Simply send me an email, and I will send you the worksheet.
Okay.
And I will send you my written explanation.
All right.
And I'll answer any and all questions everyone has about everything.
Terrific.
In fact, I feel better about answering questions about things, because I'm the only one that's like rationalized any of this right now. So I feel good about that.
Thank you.
So when are we getting the worksheets? When you hand over the big book? Or,
Yes, or anytime. I mean, I'm happy. I need it to now complete my
oh,
work.
sure, yeah.
I would be, if you wanted me to email you the whole series of them.
I mean, it might be helpful
Can't hurt.
preemptively.
Can't hurt.
In case we have questions, we can look at the worksheet.
Now, certainly, my caution is that if there are any changes and word has leaked out to people about awards and then there's a change, it leads to bad blood.
Right.
So if there are it would be better to answer individual questions than a full dump of information
so, too.
to everyone.
I think,
Well, I'd be happy to give, send it all
Yeah,
to
I
one
think-
location, and you could come to town hall and review
Okay.
the whole thing.
I,
I could do it a whole bunch of ways.
let's talk about what's best, if anything is needed for next week. Why don't you send me the individual stuff, and then George can send us that.
well, the one that I already had a question on, just for name,
Yep.
is the one I would also like feedback on.
Right,
So that
yes,
one-
and that name jumped out, I think, at George.
David Griswold and Associates?
Yeah.
That's the one that jumped out to me when I saw the list immediately.
So we just,
So I should send that immediately to you,
Please, thank you.
or to you.
to
and
me,
then you
and I will
distribute it.
revert to the
Perfect.
readers.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My pleasure, thank you, gentlemen and
Thank you.
ladies.
George, thank you so much.
Your zipper now.
Well, thank you.
I'll see you again, I'm sure.
Oh, probably many times.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
We're a good reference.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
So far.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Phil.
Bye. Maybe you'd like Phil's job.
So it looks like we have a couple of items. We have to set up a team to do the spot check.
I'm sorry.
To do the what?
We have to set up a team to review the spot check that George suggested, and then check on whether these folks are good with the town. Would we recommend?
I can give the
same-
list to Judy and ask her to review it.
But we didn't put parameters to be good with, quote unquote, good with the town or.
We actually removed them.
Yeah, we removed those parameters. There
I
is
think
no-
he's just saying we do it so that we're aware. Like, what if somebody says, why are you giving them $10,000? They owe the town $30,000. And then we can say,
So
it's awareness.
I understand, but we removed that from we already made a decision on that was not going to impact us. So, I mean, I think we're better off not knowing
Well,
that.
let me ask you a question, and this is just totally naive. If there's a lien on their property from the town.
Then the town should act accordingly right after the approval of these,
Okay.
of that.
Okay.
Not our job.
Not our job.
Give them 10, but they get 5, and we get 5%.
There's nothing that legally allows us to do that in the final rule.
Okay.
So the answer is it was not part of the criteria.
I think that ship has sailed.
So then we only have one task, that we have somebody or somebodies do the spot check.
I'm happy to be in the spot check. I'm happy to do that.
I'm sorry, what's the?
I'm sorry, what are we spot checking?
If we wanted to go back and make sure that
George was
Just,
George's methodology was fine, we look at 3 or 4, I don't know, 10% of the applications or whatever.
that was his suggestion.
so at that point, you would like the book.
Randomly look at
Random?
10% of,
So we'll let you get through next week, and then and George can then do his final, start to do his.
yeah, I'm not pushing this, I just think that
I
think that his recommendation was a good one, and
No,
think
I agree.
the committee could stand on that,
Okay.
that yes, we did spot check these.
So it's a spot check and it's just verification that complies with the act.
Yeah, exactly,
Right.
as we understand, as lay people.
And I think 10% seems reasonable.
Yeah,
Does everyone else?
Yeah, sure.
round up.
Do you think you can do it alone, or do you?
I do. I'm happy to do it alone.
Like five applications.
Absolutely.
Five.
Absolutely.
Do we need a motion?
I move that Rick Stout review 5 applications from George's pile for accuracy.
Second.
Any discussion?
Discussion? Okay. We need a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, of course.
Jen, you're up.
No, I already said it, actually. We had one inquiry. I didn't receive anything late. One inquiry, that person did not submit anything, just
Okay.
inquired, so. And I sent it to Tom, but I think Tom was having some email problems, so I'm actually gonna go print out the hard copy so he could contact that person.
Then we got to Comcast, and then we got to call Comcast and figure out.
Yeah.
Now, the payouts, does this go through the Board of Selectmen separately from the other ones?
No, we're doing it all at once.
We're doing it all at once. All right, so there's 19,000 that gets subtracted from the 2.1. So the rest of our assignment is to allocate that difference.
And take out Light and take out George.
If we decide to fully allocate 300 and whatever thousand, I mean, we might do less.
Right.
Okay.
Or do we need a motion on that?
Not today.
Not today, I mean, I think
We're going to wait till the Board of Selectmen meeting?
No, I think we'll wait until, we decided, what was it, our June, no, next week is reviewing the Next week is reviewing the community initiative applications. I think it's the week after.
Yeah, May 25th.
Is allocation decisions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then June,
Oh, right, that was in the minutes.
yeah, and all recommendations are final, and then we,
Right.
have a week to sort of think about it and come back and
Right, I think, we had talked about, at that meeting, we'll talk about almost buckets, how are we going to make these decisions? Who gets 100%, who doesn't?
Okay.
And so the George packet might not be 100%.
Right.
Yeah, we could cut his recommendation back if we.
By a percentage and all this trimmed.
He makes any recommendations, he just talks about eligibility.
Right.
Well, he did, he said, the ones that are on the list, he recommended.
He said it right.
The 9 that didn't live here.
So he's recommending 10 for everybody except for those who asked.
He is,
Right,
yes.
got it. But he didn't write that down.
Yes, he did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, they're up top.
Recommended awards to business and nonprofit.
Recommend.
are-
Right here,
On the first
right
page.
here, first page.
318, 648.
I know, but where's the 318?
The 318 is the combination.
Oh, 228 plus 89, got it.
Right, the
Okay.
two blues.
Got it.
Color coded. All right. So moving on to me, I went to just create this list just so that I could double check that everybody was good. Dave is definitely missing one obvious because he only appears on the list 10 times and I know he has 11 in his pocket. So I can actually pull it up on my computer because I kept my zip files, but I can do that. But if somebody else thinks they had,
I think I have the library. I think I'm the third one in the library, Martha.
okay. So did you get 12?
No, I got 11. Let me count.
I'll do check, but I think, so then Dave would be Lime Academy of Fine Arts is already on there.
Right.
So I'll figure it out. I'll do some searching, but
So
if,
this list is a little different than the list I gave you that was numbered. Like, some of them are named, like the senior center has 2 here. One is chili, one is birthday cards, and so the list that I sent you had them,
you had the description.
no, but I had them numbered.
They were numbered.
The name of it was number 3, boom, so, but I'm sure it's fine, but it might help you to look at that list with the numbers, because the
That's what I-
applications were also numbered.
Martha, you know what it is? It's Randazzo's application.
I
have 11.
I have Phil on that.
Yeah, I've got that in my package.
I have it in mine.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I better check, Martha, because I'm now at 12, but I know you only gave me
All right, we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'll go back and
Yeah,
do some
if
more.
you look at the packet that I received, all the applications, all the PDFs of the applications actually have a number,
I know,
1 Audubon.
So we should do that on this. is what
on
she's
this is what I'm
suggesting.
saying.
I know. I got it.
Okay.
I'll go back. I just deleted it.
You got that, Martha?
I got it. I'll go back. I'll neaten it up.
What are you going to do, Martha?
It's not a common name.
Both.
Martha, there's 2
Spell it.
lists. There's 2 lists. There's a second list. It's not a column. It's part of the name is what I'm saying. It's that when I sent you the rubric, I also sent you something called master list or something. So take a look at that.
Okay.
Now, as the readers read their assigned application, in my case, I've read all 11 and I've got questions on 5.
You're supposed to send them to me. Send me
Send
the
the
questions.
questions? Okay, because in some cases, they might be knockouts, but are we going to recycle back to the applicant and say, the reader had these questions, and try to clear those in the next week?
We can if it's a question, but let's say you have a question, and let's say that I know that you could also reach out to someone else who's reading it because maybe they found that answer to their question in the, they may have.
I think that's for discussion next week, honestly.
I do too.
I don't think you should be having behind-the-scenes conversations about an application. I think, but if there's something like mechanical about the application that's incorrect or missing, yeah, reach out to Martha. But maybe next week when we meet, we'll all have that question once you make your presentation.
So Martha, on the one that I reached out that had something missing, did you also send that to the other 2 readers?
One you did.
Okay,
I did.
all right.
Yes,
But maybe
on one
not.
you did.
I think I did.
The third
Yes, I forwarded.
because they didn't have theirs
Yes.
yet?
Say again?
Oh, but you knew they were the reader.
Yeah, I sent it to the two readers that I knew had it.
So Dennis, for example, I'm reading an application where I know I want more information about something from the applicant, and I'm waiting until next week to say that and see what the other readers feel. Maybe they won't share my concern and say, let's just go ahead,
But it's not missing information?
No, it's just additional information that might be helpful in making our decision.
So it's our assignment that we're finished reading our applications by a week from today?
Yeah, you have to.
That's when we have our big, long meeting and make our decision.
I did.
And you're getting graded.
Yes, you're getting graded and lunch. You're also getting lunch.
Oh, that's right, we're getting lunch.
Breakfast, I'm bringing breakfast, treats, and lunch.
No, I had a second question on the rubric. In the beginning, I would read, fill in the rubric, move to the next one, and so
Yeah.
forth. After doing that on 3 of them, I said, I just want to read all the rest without the rubric.
Yeah, that's
Because
what I was planning
I'm
to do.
finding the rubric adds very little value compared to reading the content and
Yeah.
asking questions. So I almost question what the rubric's doing for us. And
Allowing us to compare across all the applications.
Yeah.
So in my examples, I have a 14, a 21, and some high 40s and.
so you think
and
it's
numbers.
useful?
I think we have to have it, otherwise I don't know what
Right.
kind of leg we can stand on.
Otherwise,
I could see a situation where someone gets a mediocre score on the rubric and still gets full funding.
That could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Totally. I just think it's useful for our conversation. But also,
I think the reviewers' comments are going to be really,
yes.
really important.
I'm actually making little notes for myself, and questions, but I do want to say that next week when we meet, we have 37 applications to go through, and you divide that into 5 hours, and we would literally have like 7 minutes per appliation or something for a conversation.
Like 10 to 5.
10 to 5, whatever.
what I thought, yeah.
I'm just saying, it's not much time, and we
got two
really get waylaid, so we have to keep it succinct when we talk.
Please have your notes
Ready to go.
ready to talk on any application. We don't have time to be going through piles of paper.
Right.
But there's somewhere I really could use advice from the committee where I'm reading one, I'm really not sure it qualifies under COVID or the final rule, but I'll talk to you about it and tell you about it, and we can all make a decision.
I have that.
Yeah,
I have that in my block.
right, yeah. Okay,
And I'm
good.
rather opinionated, so. I'm gonna
Maybe we're
tell-
reading
I'm
the
gonna-
same one.
I'm going to tell everyone what I think when I.
All right, do we
possibly.
want to do low-hanging fruit? Like give Martha our scores and then?
No, I'm not ready.
Martha,
No, not now. Maybe like Tuesday nights. You could pull all night or no, I'm just kidding.
No, really, I did think about if you sent me your scores for your 11, at least then it would be interesting.
But the thing is, my score might change after I have a conversation.
I understand.
I don't want to send it in advance.
I just think some are going to be quicker to approve.
I thought that by doing that and not sharing the scores with you, I could put it in order the way we're going to do it.
Right.
So that the more difficult
Yeah,
ones
I may not be
might
ready
come in.
until
In the beginning.
very last
Well,
minute.
or the end.
I think I have to remind myself too, it's only your opinion that
It's
you're,
only
that's
yours.
only your opinion that
Right.
you're scoring, great.
Right.
Yeah.
And Dennis, I'll just add, I'm reading through all of them once without the
Me too.
rubric. I'm just like getting a sense of them,
Yeah.
digesting
That's what I
them,
do.
and then the second go round is when I'm going to do the rubric.
That's what I do.
Kind of like
Yeah.
a professor.
Yeah.
Kind of like a professor with
You
the
read
end of
all
the
of
year
them were
paper.
assigned to you, or all of them?
Oh, no, just the ones sent to 11.
You sure will ask for extra homework.
I have to do. I need more.
No, and actually, that's exactly what I did, and I just want to thank Martha.
Thanks, Martha.
I don't know
Translating
how-
for Mary Jo.
I don't know how you did
I don't know how
this,
you
frankly, but at least from the 11 that I got, it was, on my first blush, it was very easy to, particularly group sums that when I go back and do the rubric, do those together because they're similar enough, and I can reference that part of the act when I'm looking at these. So whether that was intentional or not, it worked out really well, and I appreciate it.
The hardest part was that, to the town people, to try to keep them away from town applications.
Yes.
And, and then also, like, I didn't want to give Rick all the tough, and I tried to throw a fun one in. And I was like, you got to give him something fun to read. I mean, I wouldn't want this. He's going to quit.
Okay.
Say, I'm not doing this.
And I also think it's impossible to not be reading number 4 or 5 and not think back to 1. I mean, it's contextual. You can't,
Just had that.
they stand alone, but they're part of a
I know.
larger process, so it's, you can't help but compare.
Now, should we share our questions with the other readers that are reading the same one as we're reading?
No.
Or
no.
not?
Not till the meeting.
If it's something,
Not
like
to-
I had someone write to me about a legal issue this morning, like they had a question on a legal standing, and I forwarded that question to someone that I knew could answer it. So if there's something like that, that you
Like
can't score it because you're not, you're questioning something, then send me the question and I'll forward it to someone who I think can answer it.
How do we handle next week when because we have so many people on the committee who are related, tied into the town?
Yeah, do we leave when you're discussing our application?
That would be my recommendation, is that we maybe look at all the town initiatives first, or together, first or whenever, together.
Well, it certainly, I mean, I think that Dave might be able to sit on an affordable housing, the town's thing for affordable housing, but maybe.
I guess the bottom line is, are we leaving the room when our
We only have 7 minutes for
Hey, but
Don't go
I-
far, Cheryl.
No, but I agree. I wrote an application and submitted one, so I would like to step out while you
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
whatever. However, I have a conflict of interest on several. I probably can sit here for those, but,
Reasonable.
okay.
You just can't.
Be here for the one,
Well,
right.
you need to get up and.
Well, but we're not voting next week, so
No,
it's,
we're not voting.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, and we're not voting on it, and if you want me to work it out so that there's a group that you can't be involved in, that you don't want to be here when we discuss, I can group those together and you can actually have a half an hour or 21 minutes to.
I think that's gonna be really hard, Martha, to rearrange like that.
We just get up when we
Mary,
need to get up.
Mary, I'm a school teacher. Do you understand the planning that takes place
That's
in the classroom?
what I do. I'm happy to
I got
step
this
to the
down.
hallway with my phone and read my email for 7 minutes.
We're gonna have to have a desk out in the hall.
get up.
Right.
I
Yeah.
have no problem just recusing myself
Yeah.
from what I'm involved
I'm
in.
sure you don't.
All right, can I loop
You
back
ask.
to my,
I'll have a sandwich.
that's right,
You're
I'll have a
okay.
sandwich. Can I loop back to the?
We're not here. By the way, we're at the mezzanine level.
Upstairs?
Yes.
No,
Why aren't we
Okay.
here?
it's too crowded, Martha.
This isn't available.
I thought it was only because of the Soundview Commission meeting.
I thought it was available.
Yes, I booked it.
Yeah.
Did you book it for the year?
I did.
All day?
That's why it was.
I thought it read second mezzanine.
Well, let me look.
That's gonna be
We'll let
tight.
you work your
You know what?
magic.
I booked another one for the second mezzanine. Maybe I'm confusing something for this week.
All right. It's just Soundview, and 10 o'clock is ARPA, and 5 o'clock is affordable housing. So we are in the meeting hall on Wednesday, May 18th. That's the day we're looking
All
at.
right, so it's still 10 to 5.
Yep, 10 to
Okay.
Here or upstairs?
Here.
They're
Here.
here in the meeting hall.
All right.
Okay.
then we need to, I'm going to see if we can get a couple of tables so we can put food up somewhere else.
Yeah, easy.
My question was gonna be on logistics. Who's planning on bringing their laptop?
I am.
So,
We talked about that. Plugs.
I'll bring
Well,
both.
he's
Gonna
got a question
need
about
plugs.
Wi-Fi.
Of course.
There's plugs
everybody's
down
gonna
there.
look at.
Yep.
So, that couple of power strips, 2 or 3 tables
Extension
from
cord.
downstairs.
Well, Phil's our facility guy. Can't we get him
Where'd
on
he
it?
go? Oh, is this meeting next week gonna be,
No, it
no.
won't be phone in.
It won't be phone in, okay.
It's public only.
Public, so people are welcome to be here,
They want to come, they
but
can.
not the phone.
I don't know if they want to sit through 7 hours with us.
Okay, all right.
Can we loop back to the 2
You
applications?
bring Hershey Kisses or something around.
The two
3 o'clock would be good.
2 applications weren't signed. We did get one signed, and I really do think that was truly no, it was like the PDF application
PDF
that didn't
issue,
come through. Like
yeah.
he's like, I can see it on mine. I'm like, I can't see it on mine. He came in, no problem. But Lenny, did you come in? Did you sign yours? It's sitting out there. You got it next to you. Okay, all right. Just wanted to check in.
How can you not sign it?
I apologize for
It's a deal.
saying that.
That's all I got.
It's like putting your name on a paper. My kid.
Teacher.
Yeah.
Did he sign that? Follow the directions.
Requirement of the grant.
It is, I know.
The
In the
signature
rubric,
is.
okay. Okay,
Okay. All right, so we're good?
yes.
Martha's gonna number the list.
To match Mary's numbered.
I know.
What do you want from us by Tuesday night?
I don't think we decided, and
Go to bed early,
I was gonna say, pull
rest
it all
up.
later.
Need any help picking up food on what?
gonna see if they would deliver it.
Okay, well, if there's a problem, holler.
Maybe they
Who are you
would.
going to?
Didn't they,
In that
didn't they deliver?
I can't hear what you're saying.
Didn't coffees deliver?
Coffee's
They will
delivered.
deliver.
Coffee's delivered.
I have an intern.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. I mean, that's better for coffee.
Kenny will
to have
bring it to you
coffee.
personally.
Mary, so can we use your intern?
I will contact my intern.
Kenny just delivered
What
the
time? 12
referendum.
o'clock?
Yeah, like 12. I'll bring the breakfast stuff. Breakfast stuff I'm just gonna pick up. I've got that
Okay.
organized.
All right. Looking for things for the intern to do.
Oh, I'll show up before you.
Okay.
All right.
We gotta do this 2 weeks in a row?
No, next week it's
No,
5.
I'm looking at the time.
Oh, it's
You
on
mean be
the,
on time?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
oh.
Well, the public comment.
Landmark.
Can I just ask one other question? Have all these people gotten a reply email? saying
So
it's been received or anything?
I did.
The ones that were electronically sent to me immediately got a response. Not always on the economic ones, because I gave those to George, and I thought those aren't my thing. I just forwarded them to him. But some people did ask me for one, and one person asked me for a written confirmation that I had received both of their applications, so.
I received a email.
But you sent it electronically, right?
Yes.
Okay. Whether the ones that came in person, not sure. I have to go back and check. So many came in on the last day.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it like that. I'm just wondering,
What is the
an
problem?
intern could
I was doing
do a
thanks.
mailing list.
applications for something else, and people said it said, put your, this is not for this, but just something else, and they, put your email address. How do you expect me to reach you? You didn't put your phone or your email. How am I supposed to find you?
I have one question. There was a presentation, Dave, by the fire department, or no, EMS, emergency match for stretchers, and that didn't show up.
They asked for something different.
Yeah.
They asked for a whole ambulance,
They asked for
including
a
the
whole
stretchers.
ambulance.
They put their application together, I guess, for an ambulance, and they included in the application, I heard there was
There's two.
structures.
There's
The
two.
structures are in the.
No, there's not. There's,
2 for the fire department, 1 for EMS. And 1 for emergency management, which is different from both of those.
Okay, so they are covered in some regard.
so the Oldham Emergency Management, the Ambulance Association, asked for a full ambulance that includes the stretchers within the ambulance. However, in question 6, where it says, what would you do if it was reduced?
Uh-huh,
Said, we'd take just the stretchers.
okay. Okay, 'cause I was kind of looking for that, I didn't see that.
So is fire department UTV, is that the washer and dryer?
No, they did not apply for that, because that got funded out of.
And that's what I was wondering, if maybe that's what happened.
So,
It's number 16, I think.
maybe.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Transport, yeah.
123,000.
Thank you.
I thought one stretcher too went through Board of Finance too. One stretcher is approved in Board of Finance.
So, I mean, I think that's a good question to
They
know.
what?
I think they pulled that out,
They did?
and they said they were gonna fund one themselves.
Oh, that's right. They had
We're going to fund one.
they were gonna fund one.
It's not clear in the application.
Well, so that would be something that needs, I would think, would need to be.
So when I went through and numbered them and named them, I kind of renamed some of them because it was confusing when some organizations had more than one application. And
Yes.
EMS, emergency management, like, it got confusing.
Yeah.
So that's why I read that one to make sure, and I was surprised it wasn't the stretchers, and I realized what it was, so.
Okay.
But, so,
Anything else? Public comment? Lenny, this is your last chance. Are you coming to spend 7 hours with us next week?
Well, probably not.
came up for lunch.
There was some businesses that offered to do coffee or dinner or other stuff for the big review. So I don't
I don't think we should
Like pay up.
We have to pay.
You gotta pay.
Someone delivered, the business in town delivered food here last Tuesday. And someone told me it was that for the art committee. And I said, well, our meeting is not till tomorrow, so when people in town hall ate the lunch and the things people come, but I felt funny that was not, perception-wise.
We shouldn't
Yeah,
have
we
been
need
able,
to
we shouldn't have
keep
been
that
able, we
clean.
wouldn't have been able to use it anyways, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
so, I don't know.
No, we probably
That's
should
an interesting.
Stay on the up and up.
I wouldn't use it.
We'll buy it. But,
We appreciate it, very nice.
Nice gesture,
yeah,
Very
very
nice.
nice gesture.
but a potential conflict of interest.
Somebody got it. I mean,
Create something.
we shouldn't know who that is.
there were no food allergies, right? Are there any food allergies or anybody a vegetarian?
I'm vegetarian.
Yeah.
Two?
I was just gonna bring my own lunch. I'll talk to you about it after.
Okay, I'll do veggie if you have it, otherwise I'll eat anything.
Or veggie? No, that's fine. I mean,
Thank you.
there's some great things out there that you can do. Okay? All right? Good?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
What time was that?
One of the two.
2 weeks in a row.
It's getting better.
Next week is the one.
By the way,
Yeah.
all in favor? What order are you putting it? Like,
Coffees will give you a flour.
okay. All right, got it.
Including veggies.
Like the day you did it was beautiful.
How's planning?
Martha, are we off?
Oh, we will be on.
Season here.